Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Not One for Neutrals. The championship is back. I am absolutely buzzing about this, and I'm sure lots of other people are out there as well. And it's one of those games right at the start of the season that everybody just wants to get their fill of championship football. And this one did not disappoint. Not only are Wolves one of the favourites to let's say automatic promotion, not win the league, because it seems like West Ham have practically already won the league and we've not even started the season. But it was Wolves at home, a team that are looking likely to get promoted against a team that the amount of people that have written Blackburn off before a ball's kicked and the amount of people that are saying they've not done enough business, has Tony Mowbray still got it? And they ended last season really terribly and nearly got relegated to League One. Now, just off this game, and I know you can't read too much into, the first few games of the season, especially the first game of the season, because it's always quite a nervy one, and you see some absolutely incredible results, usually in the first game of the season. But I think Wolves fans would have just taken a lovely, nice, leisurely 1-0 win in this one just to get them up and running. Because I talked to Dave as a party from Talking Wolves, and it feels like there's not a great deal of Wolves optimism going into this season. I think Dave was probably one of the most optimistic fans. Loads and loads of Wolves fans in the comments were saying, we're not ready. The owners aren't, putting their hands in the pockets and getting the players that they need. I think based off this game last night, they're probably right. Also, that sort of losing mentality, even though Wolves have not lost this game. They very, very nearly did. But even though Wolves didn't lose this game, there's that kind of losing mentality. And as a Sheffield United fan, I've been there, done that, got the T-shirt. You come down from the Premier League, having gotten beaten quite a lot of times in the Premier League. You go into a campaign and you just expected to just turn it on. And it's sometimes pretty difficult. And Blackburn made it quite difficult for Wolves yesterday. I think everyone expected Wolves to have most of the ball, and they did. Don't get me wrong. Wolves had most of the ball. But after they scored that first goal, they just let Blackburn onto them. They just sat back and the performance just deteriorated and deteriorated. Obviously, the goal coming so early was really, really handy. 18 minutes on the clock. Trippier gets the ball in. It felt like quite a safe position for Blackburn Rovers. The ball goes into Torres and Munetsi makes an incredible run. Like, I'm not taking anything away from that incredible pass from Torres, but Munetsi, that run in between the two Blackburn defenders. Now, there's an ocean of space for him, weren't there? An ocean of space for Munetsi to run into. What a confident finish that was, especially at Molineux. It's early on in the game. You've just got relegated from the Premier League. You want a quick start, and a quick start is exactly what they got. And do you know what? I think a lot of fans watching this and a lot of neutrals watching this would have looked at that and thought, this is going to be an absolute whitewash now. It's going to be 4-5, 6-0. But like I said, Blackburn dug the heels in. They kept the ball pretty well. Wolves, they had their foot on the neck and they just didn't do anything about it, really. Like I said, the first 15, 20 minutes, Wolves looked like a promotion contender and exactly what everybody thought they were going to be, or they might be. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves here. There's a long way to go in the window. This Wolves side, on paper, is so much better than the Blackburn side, but it's not played on paper, is it? And the psychological aspects could have come into play with this one. But it didn't last too long, did it? 27 minutes into this game, the ball comes in. Sean McLoughlin gets in front of his man, heads it past Bentley. On first watch, this looked like Bentley should have done better, in my opinion. However, the sheer speed that it's coming at, I get why he's not saved this one, but it's so close to his hand. It's so close. Is he unlucky? Is it poor goalkeeping? Should he have done better? I'm not 100% sure. Like, I've not been a professional goalkeeper in my life. I've not been a goalkeeper in my life. Well, short stint. But when the ball's headed towards goal with not much time to react, I can see why that's gone past his hand, but he should really get something to it. This just lets Blackburn back into the game. Now they've created a really, really good opportunity and they've taken it really well. But it's going from Wolves asserting their dominance, not just on this game, but on the league. And then Sean McLoughlin just takes it away from them like that. So that's Blackburn back into the game within half an hour. We go into the second half, and actually, Blackburn look like they're on the front foot. They look like they're going for that second. I don't think anyone expected this. I don't think anyone expected a draw from this game. I think everyone expected Wolves to just romp home. But a big question for whoever's watching this video, whether you're a Wolves fan, a Blackburn fan, a neutral fan, why did Wolves get so much worse as the game went on? Obviously, after the second goal for Blackburn, they had all that pressure. And you're going to have all that pressure because Blackburn are away against Wolves, a promotion contender. I'm just going to keep saying it. And you end up sitting back, don't you? When actually Blackburn were on the front foot, 2-1 up. They could have actually gone for it and gone for another goal, but British teams don't ever seem to do that. Never. Like even England at the World Cup never seem to go for that killer next goal to put yourself 2-0 up or at least 2 goals up. Blackburn were on the ascendancy and obviously scored that goal so quickly. That must have been an absolute gut punch for Prosotto because 48 minutes, 3 minutes into that second half and they're conceding. They've had that reset. They've scored the early goal. They've then conceded. They've then had a first half where they were the better team, but Blackburn shouldn't be anywhere near this Wolves side. And they were so value for being on equal terms. You go into the second half and you expect Wolves to assert their dominance on the game, and to concede that goal so early must have been an absolute nightmare. Great ball into the box, great finish. And on this game alone, it's making me rethink everything I've said about Blackburn Rovers. And I know that's silly to say after one game, but they looked so much better than what I expected. Is that the Tony Mowbray effect? I'm not sure, but Tony Mowbray has always been a really good manager, especially at this level. And going up against a head coach that has never, ever managed a game on these shores just makes me think the championship experience maybe sometimes is just a little bit too much for, these amazing stars like Trippier, like Jiménez. And actually, those two players did end up having a big say in this game. Trippier being part of the first goal, Jiménez eventually pulling Wolves back into this game. But they rode their luck. They really did. Because like I said, 48th minute, the ball comes in. Wolves defenders are all at sea here. They are just not concentrating. It's such a quick move. And in the championship, quite often you get these floater balls into the box. You get these balls with not enough pace on them. This ball is hammered into the box. No time to set. And Gudjohnsen just gets onto it really quickly and smashes it past Bentley. He's got absolutely no chance with this one. I know I said he might have been able to do something with the first one, but the second one, there's absolutely no chance. It's a great ball in, great finish. But I just feel like the defending on show in this game, especially for the goals, was really poor for both sides. 20 shots, only 3 on target for Wolves, 10 shots, 5 on target for Blackburn. I think that just tells you everything you need to know about these two teams. And there's two things here. I think that Blackburn going away to Wolves probably didn't expect to even have 10 shots. And then having 50% of those on target is just incredible. And I think they'll go away from this game feeling really hard done by and also really gutted with how it ended. And as I alluded to, really late on, Wolves managed to get themselves back into this game from the penalty spot, from Raúl Jiménez. And of course, if you're going to get a spot kick, Raúl Jiménez is going to put it in the back of the net. Of course he is. And that's what he's done so many times for Wolves, so many times for Fulham. But what I don't like about it is the stopping and starting, the pausing. And the goalkeeper's already got a really low chance of saving a penalty. Like, yeah, the goalkeeper, the player might put it over the bar, he might put it wide, but a goalkeeper actually saving a penalty is quite low odds. So the fact that the striker or the penalty taker is allowed to like stop and start, sometimes it doesn't work, but quite often it does work. I don't know the percentages, but most of these stop-start penalties, it just gives the goalkeeper even less of a chance. So they need to kick it out of the game. I'm not happy about it. I've said this so many times on so many different channels. They need to kick that out. But this takes nothing away from this terrible handball because the cross comes in from so far away from the defender that eventually handballs this. You need to get your arms out of the way, mate. You're so far. Like, just, I'm not saying keep them down all the time, but if you see a ball coming, you can get your hands out of the way quick enough. And I know players tend to do that to try and make themselves bigger, but just keep your arms by your side, because you are the reason why Wolves have got a point out of this game and Blackburn's not walked away first game of the season away at Molineux with 3 points. It's not even, it's just one big mistake from one player. Now, a lot of people will probably say, oh, he's unlucky. Oh, his body's only just out of a natural position, but it's not good enough. As a defender, you need to make sure you are not going to give away a penalty in stoppage time, because this is after the 90th minute. Like, you've got barely any more time to defend this lead. It was definitely a penalty for me. His body looks to be outside the box, but his arm is so stretched inside the box that it just looks like a penalty. Now, I've seen it at a few angles. I don't think it's 100% conclusive from the angles that I've seen, but his arm does seem to be inside the box. And I don't think there's a lot of moaning really from Blackburn fans about this one, even though his body did seem to be outside the area. But they get themselves back into the game. I think that point will actually, you know, maybe a defeat would have kicked him up the bum a little bit more. But I think the fact that they've had that sort of scare at home against Blackburn, I think that will stand them in good stead for this season, Wolves, if I'm being honest. And Blackburn, that'll give them such confidence that everybody's writing them off. Every critic, even me, everyone's writing them off. I don't think Blackburn will go down. I said this before. I don't think that they will go down, but I had them round there. I had Blackburn round the bottom of the league. And whether this is, you know, an idea of where Blackburn are going to be this season, I think there's a big, big chance that result last night will give them so much confidence going into this season. Anyway, that's all we've got time for. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really sorry that this has mostly been about Wolves. I think Sky Sports probably did the same last night too. This is just what tends to happen when teams get relegated and then don't get that win in the first game of the season. But lots and lots of respect for Blackburn. They came to Molineux. They did a fantastic job. They stuck at it. They were the better team at some points of that game, and they were just really, really unlucky not to get those 3 points. But that's a point on the board really quickly for Blackburn. It's a learning curve for Wolves. It's a kick up the backside for Wolves for the rest of the season. So I think Blackburn, based off one game, I think Blackburn will do okay this season. Wolves have got a lot to do.